Tom Albani, GradedPitching.com, video analysis of Cooper, 13 years old. All right, so here we go. Let's start at the top. We have him here, Chris. This is his very first lesson. In black, his bottom video is the last lesson, so let's take him out of leg lift. He posts up nicely here. But again, this is very traditional. This is that old school style of, lift the leg, balance point, then get the body going. I will tell you that I do like the way when he does come out of the leg lift, I like the way he relaxes the front leg and extends it a little bit and then gets into a decent flex, okay? But it's not going to be nearly as much as he's getting in the bottom video, and I'll just go back and show you. So here we are in the bottom video. He's working here now on just getting out, getting up and getting out. He doesn't have it completely he doesn't have the skill down yet to the point where he's really feeling the body move out. So you'll see here how he lifts the front leg here. It's a shorter lift, and he flexes too. So you see how low he's getting? Now the idea is that we want to get the body out. So if he doesn't get the head off the line, then there really isn't much difference as far as building momentum out of his leg lift than what he did in the top video. The only differences here is that he's flexing much lower and giving himself more potential power because he's got more flex, so now he's got to push out of that flex. But what would be ideal for him is if he could start moving as that leg is reaching its peak right there and start pushing out this way while flexing, because he needs to get those hips to move down and out at the same rate. That's going to give him that momentum, and it's going to put his back leg into that linear position where he needs it to be so that he can push force horizontally into the ground, into his front foot towards the target. So top video, again, very traditional, posting up, balancing, but I do like the way he keeps the leg nice and relaxed, and that's what he has to do in this video too. So you'll notice here as he comes out of his leg lift, here's his load, and I want that foot to stay back and relaxed and let the hips just push out. But take a look at his load now in both videos. Let's push him out to about the same spot. I mean, look at how much further he's gotten out here off that line. Look at how much further that hip is inside the line and how much further that hip is outside the line. So well done there. So he's building some power and moving a lot more explosively and quickly. We just have to keep in mind here that we want to keep these hands nice and relaxed. They do tend to get up a little too soon, and that'll be an indicator of some early trunk rotation later on. But so his leg load is a night and day difference. So this is going to give him that power now to push from that nice flex as he's dropping his center of gravity, going down. So let's get him out to just before he drives, which would be right about here, and this would be right about here. Okay, so take a look at the force vector. This is the angle of force of the ankle and the knee, 36 to about 55. It's a huge difference. So in the bottom video now, he is prepared to now drive his forces because his angle is much more lined up with his front hip. And the difference of that angle there. So now he's going to be able to drive that force forward into front foot plants much more effectively. Here in the top video, he'll probably just cave that knee in or he'll jump. Let's see what he does. So now he's going to drive because now the heel's coming off the ground. See that knee just caves right in. It loses torsion and he just kind of puts down. So there's no real distance there gained as he's driving. So see that I put that arrow here at his ankle to see how much further that foot's going to go out based on his drive. And it's not going to go out too far because all he can do now is cave that knee in and then collapse. And that back heel is just going to pop right up. So not a great transfer of power from the front leg to the back leg. From the back leg to the front leg in the first video. And if you also notice, look at where when he lands, take a look at his hips. I can barely see the line in his pants, so there's really, his hips are kind of straight up and down here. There's no turn in that back hip at all. We've got to see that back hip turn against those shoulders. Let's see what happens here when he drives in the bottom video. So he'll drive a little bit more. He'll get some more speed. I do see more of an acceleration, more of an extension. There he puts down. Okay, and I can see more of the line in his pants here. Not too much more, but there's definitely more. Take a look at the back leg just so you can see another perspective here of the back leg drive. So here's his bend in his knee going up at about 125. And there's the bend in the knee about 128. So he's improved back leg extension, which will hopefully convert now to more power in the front side. So he lands the front leg at the top video, and that's where he braces up. He braces up the knee right about there. Take a quick angle here of his force vector at this position. These force vectors are really important because this is where the power comes through. He's at about a 106. He braces up there. Let's get that back out. And he's at about a 107. So he's bigger angle is a better force vector. More forces can go through. That's a good improvement there. But also take a look here at his ability when he braces up the front knee. See the white line on the pants here? There's a white line on the pants there. As he braces up the front knee here, right about there, look at how much of his chest now is already facing forward. So he's already into major throwing here. He's in the act of throwing the baseball, and here you can see that his arm is still up in a 90-degree angle. Here it's already starting to roll back, and his chest is way open. So he's getting no hip and shoulder separation at all. At least here he's getting more hip and shoulder separation because the shoulder's still back, because I can tell that the arm is still up and the hips are now opening. I can see some of that white line more. All right, let's see how well that transfers to trunk power. So he braces up. It's the arm to lay back at a 90-degree angle, real nice. So really at this point here, Chris, is where the hips are fully opened. And we want to get those hips to open while the trunk is still back here. And that'll happen a lot later as he gets stronger and more mobility in those hips. So let's take a look here at full external rotation. Let's take a look at trunk angle. If there's any difference, 78. I'm just going to go right from his chin. About 74. There's a 4-degree difference. Let's get him out into now. We're at ball release and at ball release right about there. How much does that transfer over to trunk extension? About 65. Come on, this thing. And he's at about a, oh, maybe not that much. About a 61. So about a 5-degree difference there as well. So he's got some transfer of power to the trunk. You can definitely tell. I mean, look at his back. Look at how much straighter up and down his back is. If I even took it from the back, you can see a big difference. Man, this machine just will not cooperate. I mean, look at that. That's a big difference. All right, so there we go. And as he follows through, he braces up the front knee real well in the bottom video. How does he do at the top video? Same thing, top video, he's got a good brace. And he's getting some more power through there too. All right, so just as a quick recap here, he's getting a much better load in the back leg. Just got to get out sooner and then find that load as he's drifting out so that the body will go down and on an angle more. His center of gravity will move out, forward and out at the same time, or out and down at the same time more. He's got more power going into front foot. He's got more of an acceleration into his leg stride. He definitely has a longer leg stride. And you can see the center of gravity here is much higher on the top video than it is. Let's take a quick look here how much it is before we wrap this up. 48. 48.53. And obviously you want a bigger angle in that position because that means that the hips are further off the mound. So, I mean, that's what, 5-6 degree difference again. So good job with that as well. So better leg flex, better leg power, more power going into the front leg. He's getting some better hip and shoulder separation. His throwing arm is getting up later. He's staying closed off more as he's braced up his front leg. And he's getting more trunk flexion into full external rotation and more trunk flexion here, which means that it's converting better from the ground up the chain through the body. All right. So good differences, good changes. We'll see what happens in the next 5 weeks. We'll keep these posted up. All right.